Ah, I missed the timer. I missed the timer. I was not paying attention. But we're back. We're back. Card game stuff. Card game content again. We're so back, baby. We're so back. Let me turn down this music. Oh, wait, hold on. I gotta move this over. Give me 1 second. There we go. Yo! Oh, shit. I gotta get rid of that. Whoops. 1 second. I forgot to remove all of that. Hold on. There it is. Boop. There we go. All right, yo, give me outing, guys, gals, babies, and YouTube catters. Hope you're having a fantastic Monday afternoon, Monday evening, Monday night, Tuesday meowning. Welcome to the stream. It is Monday, June 28th, and we're live in a live day. We're so back today. We're back to card game content today. We finished up the charity event over this weekend. I know I didn't stream the final day because I was exhausted, I'll be honest. I was so freaking tired from I guess stress from this weekend, or just a lot going on this weekend with the being both pre-release for Chaos Origins, the end of the charity event, a lot of stuff all culminating this weekend. But happy to say that the charity was great, was wonderful. We helped out the best we could. But overall, as a whole, the charity ended up raising, like $45,000, I believe was the final total, like a little above $45,000, which was absolutely huge, which was absolutely amazing. I know they weren't even expecting such a turnout. I believe they said they had events and scheduled and planned for only 15K. So to be able to triple that was awesome. It was awesome. I had a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it throughout the week. But I'm glad to get back to card game content and card game stuff. That being said, this weekend, who else? Raise your hand, catters. Raise your hand in the chat, in the catters. If you went to pre-release this weekend, who all went to Chaos Origins pre-release this weekend? How did it go? If so, did you pulled a Starlight Griffo. Fuck you. Fuck you. Never mind. I don't want to hear shit from you. Never mind. You specifically, Lee. No. You specifically, Lee, I don't want to hear from. Everyone else, how to never mind. You did just get your new Clown Crew cards. Hell yeah. Nice. I'm actually curious of what Clown Crew does now. I saw that they have a new normal trap from the box. That was really insane. That seemed really good for Genesis. Their new support though is a Link though, so I don't know how they're gonna be for Genesis. How crazy they're gonna be for Genesis, but we pulled Cracked 2 pretty much. If you missed the stream, I know it was on Friday. It was very last minute, so let me tell you about my Friday, chat. Let me tell you about my Friday. So Friday was I had originally just planned to do some off-stream stuff with the charity event, record some stuff off stream and not go live, and just buy some boxes at pre-release events, and then come back Saturday afternoon and open those boxes before I go to another pre-release event or do whatever else I had to do for the charity event. That didn't work out how I planned. I go to my first pre-release event, and this is at a new store that I've played at once before, but I've never gone to an actual event. It was just a locals that I've played at once before to get additional testing done. Back when White Force stuff came out, I never played a pre-release at that event at that store before. So going into it, I assumed it was every other store, where you go, you sign up for your pre-release event, you pay, and you can either have the option of paying the $25 to get 5 entry packs for the tournament, or paying like the price for pre-release for a box. Most stores do that. This store had the option as you either pay $25 for 5 pre-release packs to like register for the event, or you could buy the equivalent to a box in individual loose packs instead of just getting a sealed box yourself. So I was like, fuck no. Absolutely not. That's a scam. If a store ever does that, don't do that. Just get your 5 packs or whatever and play the event. Don't ever buy the equivalent to loose packs. And I saw like behind the person, I saw the person who was like taking registration. I saw behind them was basically they had a card sorter, those little like giant white cardboard boxes that have the little columns in them, usually for bulk. They basically just lined those with loose packs and just handed packs out of that. So you don't know what packs you're getting out of what box. You could pull all supers, you could pull a billion secrets, you could pull a billion full arts. It was just literally lottery. It was gambling at the finest at that point. And I was like, no, don't do that. Absolutely do not do that. My friend bought 6 boxes, pulled 2 Starlight Sloths and Black Chaos and 2 Overframe Pharah and Sacred Beast Fusion. I don't know if they just juiced the ratios in this or what, but we had so many people at my second locals pulling Starlights and Overframes. One person did pull a Starlight Overframe Pharah, which I was super jealous about. I can't afford it, but happy for them. That would have paid my rent for a month. Super happy for them though. I immediately, when they pulled it, I immediately gave them a top loader and a penny sleeve, and I was like, here, like, don't damage it. But yeah, so yeah, a lot of Starlights. I think the ratios are they made the ratios the same as Monster Mayhem, because when I got my 2 boxes and opened them on Friday. Oh, here, let me finish with the story. I'm so sorry. I'm jumping ahead. So I don't play in the event. I end up, while we're waiting for the event to start up, I end up calling another store that's 45 minutes away. And it's a store that I used to go to back when Info came out. Not to attend their events, but they always sold me boxes at like 12 o'clock in the afternoon for like super cheap, like cheaper than any other store I go to. And I don't have to play in any event. They sell me as many boxes as I want. It's how I opened like 3 boxes of Info to get my White Forest stuff before Nationals 2 years ago, by going to this store. So I called them to see if they had Chaos Origins, and they did. Like he was selling boxes for like $70 plus tax, so it ended up being like roughly around $80 after tax. And so I dropped out of the event immediately, drove 45 more minutes closer into a major city, and bought 2 boxes of Chaos Origins. Didn't get back to home to stream until like 8 p.m. So I ended up going live Friday, opening the boxes on stream, and we pulled cracked. One box, basically every super was Ritual of Light and Darkness stuff, which I've been loving that deck so far and playtesting and enjoying so far. And then the other box, I pulled a Starlight and an Overframe in. Here, I'll actually, let me go here. Let's do this. So I posted the pulls in Discord. I took pictures, of course, as well for the Twitter. By the way, follow me, !social. Follow me on Twitter. Like the stream, subscribe, all that good stuff. F11, so I don't dox myself. There we go. So So yeah, this was all the ritual stuff I pulled in out of 2 boxes. Pulled a Dark Magician of Chaos from prize packs, from my 5 prize packs for signing up for the event that I didn't end up playing. Then pulled the Blackluster Soldier and the Farah, and like everything else out of the boxes. So I got almost the pure engine, almost the entire engine, just from a box. Coming out of opening those 2 boxes, I just needed 2 Griefos and the 3 Black Chaoses, and I was completely done. So this was the rest of the pulls from the other box. We pulled the Starlight and the Farah in the same box. And yeah, the Farah is absolutely gorgeous. The Farah is definitely my favorite card art, my favorite overframe throughout the entire set. Like this overframe art is absolutely gorgeous to me. I love this overframe. I'm going to be playing with this overframe. We have the hand cam set up today, so we're gonna be going over the Ritual Light and Darkness stuff today. So if you have any questions about the Ritual Light and Darkness stuff, I will go over it here in just a minute. And I'll talk about the deck. I've been really liking the deck. Deck's a lot of fun. Has a lot of really cool interactions in it that I want to talk about, and I can't wait to talk about and teach. So basically, after we opened those boxes Friday, I went to my locals on Saturday, my typical locals, and all I needed was 2 Griefos and the 3 Black Chaos, and I ended up buying from a friend. Oop, sorry. Where is it? There we go. Ended up buying from a friend the overframe Black Magician of Chaos. So because they sold it to me for $100, and I was like, it's probably not gonna go lower than that because it's a Yugi card. So ended up just buying the overframe. I also really don't like the secrets of this new set. I hate the foil bleed of this new set. I hate the printer that they're going through for this new set. So very happy to play the overframe of this card. The Blitzkrieg deck is very interesting. I want to see it played. I think it's going to be great in Genesis. I think it's going to be like one of the best decks in Genesis. I'm pretty sure. I just wanted to see it played. I wanted to see like what people actually do with it. Yeah, we also got a Witness of the Ancient. So basically going into it, all I needed was the 2 Griefos, the 3 Black Chaoses. I watched 2 people beside me open boxes. Each of them pulled a Griefo, gave them $10. I was like, I know this card's gonna go down in price. Don't care. I'll pay $10 for an Ultra for a Grifo. That's fine. Bought the 2 Grifos. The friend who sold me the overframe Black Magician of Black Chaos, after he sold it to me, and I told him, yeah, all I need is the 3 main deck Black Chaoses, the effect monster, that's the 3 of. He was like, oh, that card's been short printed. That card is an $80 secret right now because it's a short printed secret in this set. And I'm just crying on the inside. I'm like, of course it is. Of course the one secret that I need a 3 of is $80 a piece. Of course, why not? So watched people around me open Black Chaoses. In my I don't think I posted it here. Let me see if it's in my Discord. Hold on. Let me see if I think it's in my Discord. I end up just buying since I've already bought multiple boxes. Yeah, here we go. Since I ended up just buying multiple boxes, I ended up buying just the 5 prize packs again to sign up for the event. In my 5 prize packs, I pulled Starlight Hyper Invoked Aeon and regular Secret Hyper Invoked Aeon, and my buddy next to me, who sold or traded me a Farah, instantly bought the Starlight Hyper Invoked Aeon for like $50, and I was like, sure, sweet, that makes like buying the Magician of Black Chaos less painful. Are you excited for Diabell Chronicles? Yes, I cannot wait for Diabell Chronicles. That is going to be hyped as hell. It's gonna be wonderful. I'm so excited for DBL Chronicles and more DBL support. Are you playing branded, runic, or pure? I don't know what the pure build is. I haven't seen runic with it, but that's kind of sweet actually. No, that's actually kind of cool. I wonder how that works. I am playing Azamina. We are playing Azamina Ritual of Light Darkness. So we're playing 3 DBL Star. I'll go over all that here in just a second. Like I said, yeah, these are super good pulls. So instantly sold the Aeon for $50, made the Black Chaos buying the overframe like less painful. And where was it? Oh, I did post it. Damn. Okay. And then one guy pulled a normal Black Chaos, or like the Black Chaos extra deck or main deck monster. I traded him all of the Blitz Click field spell, the 2 secret Blitz Clicks, and $30. It about equaled $60 for it. I wasn't gonna pay $80 for a secret on pre-release. So he sold it to me for 60, which was the 2 Blitz Click secrets and the hideout plus $30. Done. That's one of them. The second one, another guy pulled. He traded 1-for-1 for the Starlight Whisker Blitz Click. So sweet. Had 2 Black Chaoses done and taken care of. And I ended up buying the third one yesterday. Do you know the Crimson King Soul Resonator combo? Yes, I do. I know the branded build. I trust me. I have been looking at all of this. I'm not paying $1,000 for a branded core to play that deck. I'm good. I'm good. I don't need White Albaz. Don't need White Albaz and don't need to play branded. So deck's completely finished the deck completely yesterday. Tomorrow, I'm not gonna stream tomorrow. We're in testing stages now, so like tomorrow I'm gonna go play locals to test. Thursday, if my cards come in, I'm gonna go play Genesis to test, and then Saturday is also locals for testing. And then I have one more Tuesday next week, and then we fly out for nationals on Thursday. So I've got 3 more locals to test. Excuse me. I have 3 more locals to test this deck. And yeah, I'm gonna go over it all in just a second. But and then Genesis. Hopefully my cards come in for Genesis. That's the one thing I'm worried about, because we ordered I ordered some Dogrins, the red kaiju for Genesis, because Gamma Steel's pointed now, and ordered some Masks of Restrict for tribute decks for Genesis, just to floodgate them out, and they can't kaiju over my stuff. So yeah, super excited. What's the DBL Chronicle? Is it the structure deck or anime? So Master Duel or Konami, Yu-Gi-Oh, whatever, has been doing Chronicle animes, but alongside every Chronicle anime they've done, they've released a Chronicle deck, a Chronicle structure deck, with brand new support in it. That's how we got the Dragon that Devours the Dogma. That's how we got Fallen in the Virtuous and a bunch of other cards for branded. That's how we got the Charmer support and stuff, is from that. So sleeve art has been confirmed. Oh god, I was actually talking about that with someone. That's something I wish Konami did more of. Is I wish we got more. I wish they were in the same way as Bandai Namco, where we just consistently got sleeves shipped to us. Just keep giving us like accessories and stuff. Keep giving us accessories, keep giving us sleeves, give us like stuff to buy. Like I would kill for some DBL Star sleeves without having to order them directly from Japan. It'd be so nice. But we can assume a new deck. Yeah, most likely we will be getting a new deck with support in it, and if it's a new structure deck, then it won't be expensive at all because you just pay $15 for a structure deck. Also, what do you think they will do for White Forest and Azumina considering the story is over? Some prequel cards? I mean, it'll just be like continuous support of like events and stuff that happened. Oh god, why is that flickering? Is that happening on your stream or is that just me? That was weird. Close that out. I mean, it'll probably just be like event support cards. It won't be like anything new, but I mean, it's kind of like how they did the branded story, where they just like take moments from the storyline and make them new cards, which is great, which is awesome. I would love that. I would appreciate that a lot, because there are some definite weak points in White Forest. And I guess now is a perfect time to transition over to meta discussion and my fears for this new format. So is there like what's a good website, chat, to pull up Chaos Origins card list? I just need just Yu-Gi-Oh. Oh, okay, Yu-Gi-Oh Pro Deck does it. Sweet. All right. Let's have that up. We're gonna need that. Yeah, that's fine. I guess we can start here. If you could make one card for White Forest and one for Azumina, what would you make relevant without breaking them? Gosh. It probably would be a main deck monster extender that doesn't lose to Droll. I'll be honest. I think that's the main thing, is like we just need something that just doesn't lose to Droll. Like a Stellar would have been perfect if it was an on summon effect rather than rather than an ignition effect. For Azumina, I don't even know if they'll add more Azumina cards, but probably it definitely wouldn't be a fusion. I don't think they would do any of the fusions. It would probably just be a consistency main deck card. Trying to think. I don't know what for the Azumina stuff or Sinful Spoil stuff. But I think the deck is just there. I think it just needs like, it needs a one card combo, to be honest. It needs a it needs a card that doesn't require you to also have the follow-up spell or whatever. Like the field spell would have been great if it didn't lock you out of darks for lore purposes. Okay, yeah, let's talk about Chaos Origins though. That's in the past. Let's talk about Chaos Origins. Okay, so first and foremost, Nationals, Chaos Origins, what I'm scared of, what I'm terrified of. I hear Praying Phantom Knights are at least rogue playable. I think if you want to bring them to locals, I think you could definitely win the locals with Phantom Knights. They are definitely rogue playable. The new main deck monster, the Decay Cloak, is really good, as well as the Xyz Malevolent Scythe is really good. I think where they'll really shine is Genesis. I think they'll be a great deck in Genesis. You just don't get to play Rusty Bardish, but I don't think you need to play Rusty Bardish. I think it is a good just Xyz 3. You could play some of the Goblin Biker stuff if you wanted to, because I don't believe it locks you. None of this stuff locks you either. So I think you can. I think there's something here with this for Genesis. I fear Elf Note and Cool Tune. All right. So both of those decks, Elf Note as a pure build, I think is going to be, of course, strong. Is going to be a good deck. Of course, June Pride solves a lot of problems, gives it some gives the deck more interruptions on turn 0, which is great, and gets you access to all your Elf Note names. That being said, I think Elf Note White Forest is going to be ass. And I'm really sad about it. Like, I am terrified to play Elf Note White Forest in this format because really bad into Super Poly, extremely bad into Super Poly, and then every deck this format, or every deck, every top deck this format, including some of the new support that we got from Chaos Origins, either extra deck rips you either at random, or gets to look at your extra deck and just rip specific cards in terms of hyper invoked. Like, this card is super easy to get into, and then, or B, just makes floodgates, just makes Macrocosmos floodgates. And in terms of invoked, I think a lot of people are sleeping on invoked as a playable advanced deck, because this card going first kills 90% of the best decks in the format. We went over it a little bit on Friday before I had to jump into the charity event, and I mean, I could be evaluating this wrong. I could be wrong. This could just be a total flop deck, but this card is super easy to get into it for invoked. It's also a generic card as well, semi-generic card that's easy to get into for some decks. But extra deck ripping 3 cards, a selection of 3 cards, kills 90% of the best decks in the format. And we'll go over it again. Let's go to top meta archetypes real fast. So Kultun, we'll just pick the most recent one. Let's do one that wasn't from a glorified locals. Here, 472 players, South America, whatever. Perfect. Let's look at the extra deck for Kultun. It rips both copies of Trackmaker and Zolid. Deck doesn't do anything anymore. Deck, like, you can't make Trackmaker for Kultun, so all you're making is like a remix, which means Rotary is dead, because the only 4 you have is Trackmaker. So all you can make is remix or RS, which cool, a face up negate, whatever, like that doesn't matter. Like, Kultun was already really kind of bad breaking boards going second. That's why like more builds are playing Super Poly for mirror matchups. But yeah, this you rip the Trackmakers out of their deck and keeping them off from extending into Kultun Synchro and Rotary, and the deck doesn't do anything. Branded, you rip their you banish their 2 Albions and like one of their other searchers, like their Rendebrum or their Ecclesia. Deck barely does anything. Like, it still can make a Mirror Jade, can still make a Towers, but their looping ability, their ability to go main phase 3 is kind of just gone at that point as well. Doomsday, I'm not too familiar with. Elf Note Pure should be Elf Note Pure, you rip the Seraphim Stelitzia, you rip the Crystal Wing, and I don't know what else here, dog, and the Black Rose, I guess. Deck doesn't do anything going second, or you can also just rip the level 10 as well. Deck doesn't really do anything. I need to turn that off on Nightbot. I apologize. Forgot to turn off Nightbot command when the event ended. So where I say White Forest is scary, or like it's scary to play Elf Note White Forest, is because in Elf Note White Forest, if you rip Brasilia, rip the Elf Note Strelitzia, and rip the level 5 bridge, the deck just doesn't play anymore. The deck just doesn't do anything anymore. White Forest Pure could probably be a little bit better, because at least like Diabell will be able to with its trigger bring stuff back from banishment. But yeah, playing at least the Elf Note engine with White Forest, if they know the deck and they know the bridge in the deck, or can surmise it looking at your extra deck, they can completely kill your ability to play the game. So on top of them they can also just end on a Macrocosmos as well. Like put this in the extra monster zone and Macrocosmos you out of the game for White Forest. So super worried about Invoked, for example, at like bottom tables. Clown Crew got, oh, what's happening? There we go. Clown Crew got a really good trap for going first that extends them, as well as pops as many cards face up on the field as you discard, but you're drawing into that million more cards anyways for Clown Crew. Angelecki, it's hard for me to evaluate, because some people have been posting like dueling book combos for the deck, and it looks great on dueling book when you're playing solitaire and playing by yourself. I just don't think the deck as an engine is going to do anything at Nationals. And then it got pointed super high in a Genesis anyways. Where is the Angelecki stuff? Super rare, ultra rare, ultimate rare. Yeah, it is very bricky. And oh, it just doesn't show the Angelecki stuff on here. Okay, cool. This was a waste. There we go, much better. Like it's also one of those decks that if you just don't open the ultra rare trap, one of 3, the deck doesn't really do anything or can't really do anything. But if you do get to open the ultra rare, the Angelecki opening to E4, like if you do open this trap, the deck looks great. Like the being able to set a couple of floodgates during your opponent's turn is pretty cool. It does make people have to change their lines mid combo, or I mean not even mid combo. I mean it's just probably everyone's just going to be making SP Little Knight before their 5th monster effect, and then banishing the king. And then once you lose your king from you have no way of getting it back from banishment. Like you can recycle it with the witness if it goes to the graveyard, but outside of that, there's no real way to get stuff back from banishment. Sorry, I'm getting rid of the charity ones real fast so they don't spam. There we go. Okay. All right, that should be fixed now. So yeah, I mean, the Angeliki stuff is very cool. It's gonna need another wave of support as also. Like, it is very neat. I don't think you can really pair it with White Forest without just it being a meme. I don't think that's really the way to go. Yo, Kirito, Meowning, welcome in. What else? Oh, Branded. Branded is also just going to be the best deck in the format, I think. I'm calling it now. Branded is going to be the best deck in the format. Some form of Branded, whether it's Branded Draco Tail or Branded Pure, because of the support that they got from this set. The Mikosia, the co-founder, this not generic, but it is a good super poly target and good fusion target for Branded, is 1 spellcaster plus 1 non-spellcaster monster. You can target 1 phase-up monster on the field, declare 1 attribute, it becomes that attribute. So you can target itself, make it a light or whatever, or anything else, mess with opponent's attributes if you need to. During your opponent's main phase, quick effect, you can fusion summon 1 fusion monster from your extra deck by banishing this card you control and monsters from your field or graveyard as material. If this card is in your graveyard, you can declare 1 attribute and this card in the graveyard becomes so it's a free fusion during your opponent's turn to help play under Molcharmi Fuwalos. This card's very good. This card is insane, and it's a common. It's another good insane support for Branded. They also got this level 8 synchro finally from the OCG in 3 champions of Sword Soul. A level 1 4 tuner plus 1 plus non-tuners. If this card is synchro summon, you can add 1 level 4 or 8 spellcaster monster whose attack equals its own defense from your deck or graveyard to your hand. So it searches out all the Ecclesias. You can target 1 face-up card on the field, negates effects. Then, if an Ecclesia monster or Fallen of Albaz is in your graveyard, you can destroy that card. So does not lock you into anything. This also searches your Farah for Branded as well, and Farah is a very strong card to resolve your Branded spells. This card is nuts. This card is also crazy for Branded, like 1,000 years more Branded support. Honestly, I hate to say it because I hate Branded with a passion, but I do think because of this card, I do think we might see Branded White Forest, or White Forest Branded be like the way to build White Forest, like throwing in 2 Fallen of White plus a regular Albaz plus 1 Ecclesia. You get to play the 3 Fallen in the Virtuouses, which is a very strong generic spell card. Play a very like minor Azamina package probably, but yeah, this is also just a generic 8. It's super easy to make in both White Forest. This also bridges both White Forest and Branded very easily as well. So isn't the new fusion also good with sinful spells of the White Forest? Yeah, no, the new fusion, any spellcaster deck, the new fusion is great for. It's also a great super poly target over Chorizo if you don't want to play Chorizo. I'm trying to figure out how to use this for Rollad, but I haven't quite got there yet in testing. But no, it is this is a great common card. This is a really strong common card. Was there any other if we're talking about Genesis, I think Melfi is super slept on. I think Melfi is going to be a broken deck for Genesis. That is very unpointed. I don't know anything about Blitzclick. Have not seen anyone talk about Blitzclick. I think this card is great. This card has been wonderful in testing. Zena's Deceiving Doll Maidens. This is like a $5 ultra. I think this card is going to go up. I'm not a Yugi finance bro, or I'm not a card finance bro. But the last time I saw a generic card like this be so cheap was when Typhons were like $7 on release, because everyone was like, this card sucks, this card loses to everything. I think this card is better than Typhon and could potentially get banned one day. Highly recommend, if you can get these cards for $5 a piece, to at least get a few of them, because this card is going to go up in price, especially after nationals. Like I feel like this card is going to do a lot of busted things in the future. Melfi's talked about Phantom Knights a little bit, talked about Elfnos a little bit, talked about I do like the Sacred Beast support. It's not very good. It'll be cool in Genesis. It'll be cool to see someone summon Sacred Beast in Genesis, but yeah. Farah, exceedingly strong card. Probably going to be ran as at least a 1 or 2 of in branded eventually, if not like 1 of this weekend, and then people are going to be like, oh no, this card's busted, you need to play 2 of them, because if you have 1 in hand, you can just send another one from deck as material. This card is insanely good. The fact that it makes in hand, makes your stuff unrespondable, makes your spells and traps unrespondable, as well as if you send it for any reason for material with a spell or trap, so like Deception of the Sinful Spoils, sending it as a cost, or using it for a ritual spell, or using it for a fusion spell, discarding it for super poly. It goes to the grave and then special summons itself out of the grave, and then if it special summons it, if this card is special summoned from the grave by any reason, it becomes a mind control, a non-targeting mind control. So this is really a really good card, really strong card. It's also a level 8 dark spellcaster, so for pure branded decks, this just becomes a demod into Dragoon for branded, because why not? Why not go fusion spell, send this as material from deck with your Albaz or whatever, and then special summon this back, banish this, make a demod, demod search Gaze of Timaeus, make a Dragoon for your combos. Farah is a very strong card. Blitzclick, I don't know anything about, like I said. Okay, so that leaves us to the last deck of Chaos Origins, and that is a Ritual of Light and Darkness. And I need to use the restroom real fast before I get into this, and we're gonna switch over to the hand cam because I've got that shit built. I got that thing on me. I am strapped with that thing. So give me 1 second. I will be right back. Okay. All right. Let me move the microphone over 1 second. I gotta like adjust to the card gate inside, hand cam side. We're getting better at this. We're getting better at this. Ah! Hold. There we go. Let me move chat over here so I can read you. Move this here. Turn this on. There we go. And then boom. Okay. Why is it so why is it so dark? What happened? Unfigure video. Oh. There we go. I don't know how that got adjusted. Okay, that should be good. Ah! Let's turn you back down. There we go. How's that? Too loud, too quiet, too soft? Should work now. Okay. All right. So, Ritual of Light and Darkness. I'll be honest, I have been loving this deck in playtesting for quite a bit. This deck has been insanely fun in playtesting so far. And looking more and more likely like this will be what I take to nationals because more than anything, it hasn't been miserable to play in this format currently. Like it's got a lot of fun, neat interactions. It's really fun to play. Do I think it's the best deck in the format? I don't know. I don't think so. I think you could build stuff like the branded version that is slightly better, but this is what I've been enjoying and is not going to cost me thousands of dollars to play to get the branded core for the deck. So, we'll go over the deck list real fast and I'll talk about the cards. I haven't done a full video on this yet, just because this is, I still have to finish the extra deck. The extra deck should be done tomorrow, after locals or at locals. So I should have a video working on it either Thursday or Wednesday, sometime this week before I leave for nationals, for those that want to play this deck. But first and foremost, the thing to keep in mind with this deck is not like White Forest in the it's not like a White Forest playstyle where White Forest is a very combo heavy deck that ends on like 3 or 4 negate monsters plus like 1 or 2 negate back row. You have no cards left in hand. Every monster zone is filled, every spell trap card zone is filled, etc, etc. Like it is not like that. It is not a combo deck in that sense. There are some like really good line extensions that you can do with this deck. I don't think it needs to be a combo deck. I think it kind of makes the deck worse if you build it into a combo deck with like filling out your board and stuff, making like a bunch of link 5s. But a lot of the times you are just going to be like your half boards. The strength of this deck is that it plays through every meta hand trap, basically. Like really plays around Droll very well. Plays around Fuba very well. like can just not give anyone any draws off a Fua if they want it, if you want to, while still setting up interaction. And plays around Super Poly very well because of your ritual monsters. We'll talk about first. Oh, let me zoom in real fast. That's the other thing I forgot to do. Configure video. Zoom in. Well, zoom in. Blah, 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 blah. There we go. Okay. Why is the like brightness? Oh, it's like desaturated for some reason. Sorry. Okay, maybe that's a little bit better. I don't know. We can go the brightness up a little bit more. Maybe not that much. Okay, let's try that.
Hey, thanks.
Yo, Pupanti, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. Give me on. Okay, so first and foremost, you have your 2 ritual monsters. These are like your main bread and butter of the deck. You have your Magician of Dark Chaos, Black Chaos. And I'm gonna go over these like very loosely. I'll go over more of them in detail in the video, but I just want to talk about like the different interactions and stuff that the deck can do, especially with this build of the deck. But this is a, when it's summoned, gets any spell back from your graveyard, which we know from Diabelle of the White Forest, or Queen of the White Forest, is very good, very strong ability, insanely strong ability. One second. Why is this like this? I don't know why. Okay, that should be much better. All right, that should be much better. So very strong ability, very insane ability for Queen of the, has Diabelle Queen of the White Forest ability. Also, not on quick effect, but has the ability to, once per turn, target, banish anything. Is it specifically a monster? Nope, just a card your control, target any card your opponent controls, banish it face down. The strength of these ritual monsters are not in their removal effects, although that is an added bonus, but the fact that they are unaffected by anything that does not target them. So you have to specifically target these monsters to affect them. So it has to be specifically like a Fallen in the Virtuous or an Imperm or Effect Veiler, to specifically target these monsters. And if they're specifically targeted, that gives you room with the Continuous Trap, the Mind Shuffle, to bounce them back to their hand, and play something out, or kaiju them. Yeah, kaiju them is the only out. Oh, you cannot kaiju them because kaijuing does not target. You cannot kaiju them. They are unaffected. It's the same thing like Super Poly. You cannot Super Poly them. They are unaffected. I've seen target monster, Mind Shuffle, destroy map, destroy trap. Yeah, I mean, you can Ghost Ogre the trap, but the Black Chaos protects your back row. Because I believe how it resolves is, how that resolves in the chain is if you activate Mind Shuffle, it does not bounce for cost. It targets. Let's see here. Whenever your opponent activates a card or effect, you can return one level 5 or higher controlled to your hand. Okay, so you would bounce the, you it would bounce the Black Chaos first. Vaguely remember some kaijus bypassing the unaffected, like Underworld Goddess and Hamp. Yeah. So yeah, you can kaiju them. Lava Golem's gonna be super good. It does bounce for cost. So, yeah, if you bounce for cost the Dark Chaos, then if it leaves you for Ghost Ogre to bounce the Mind Shuffle, but I mean, I don't think Ghost Ogre is going to be played outside of Kill Tune. And if you're bouncing your Black Chaos, that's if you're in a situation where you're bouncing your Black Chaos instead of any other level 7 or higher monster on your field, then you've screwed up in some way. You messed up in some way with this deck. Anyways, what I was getting to was cards are unaffected, so they are pseudo towers. There are some specific ways to get around them. Lava Golem is going to be probably pretty relevant to this format. Winged Dragon of Ra, Sphere Mode might be pretty relevant to this format. We'll see. Since Lava Golems are just good for Kill Tune as well. Yeah, following the Virtuous could also do it. Anyways, so those are the two main stages. These 3 cards here are the main point of the deck, is to get your Mind Shuffle out, get your Black Chaos out, and bounce between your monsters. Your Blackluster Soldier is a quick effect or on summon banish, so it is a removal spell. But that's more so the bread and butter of the deck. What we're pairing it with instead of the branded stuff is we are pairing it with, you saw it right there, Diabellstar the Black Witch with Azamina engine, with a white, or not White Forest engine, but with Seeker of the Sinful Spoils Azamina engine. Boom. Because not only does this set up an Omni to protect your Mind Shuffle, but this also extends the inboard, extends the ceiling of the deck without eating too much of, without A, playing into worse hand traps, or B, without messing with the consistency of the deck. No Deaders? Yeah, Deaders is in here. I just, chill, please. I'm begging you, chill. I will get to the full deck. Trust me. Boom, there's Deaders. Chill. I would really like to explain things first before we get into every single card. So why we're playing the Azamina stuff is because it does not mess with the consistency of the deck. It is also a low to the ground engine, very contained engine, and also provides a lot of material for the link plays of the deck, which is like your Selines, your Cross Sheeps, your Charmer and Quartet and Bloom to recur your spellcasters, and also gives us another target for, where is it? Dragoon. So it basically almost plays like Dark Magician, or at least how Dark Magician is currently right now, without having the Dark Magician support that we get in September. But being able to end on a Charmer's Quartet and Bloom plus a like an Illa Sylvia, extra deck, duh. Plus like an Illa Sylvia, your Ritual Monster, and Diabellstar on the field is oftentimes going to be your end boards for the most part, with like back row set with like Super Poly, Deaders, Fallen in the Virtuous. We get to play a lot of the good generic spells and traps in our back row. with of course Mind Shuffle and Gaze of Timaeus. That's the one I was thinking of, because this board plays well around Super Poly. Like, to Super Poly this board, they would probably Super Poly to get rid of the Illusilvia, to be honest. So they'd probably Super Poly these two, because they go Dark Illusion, Dark Spellcaster into Garura, since they're both darks. Or sorry, into Mud Dragon. But that still leaves us the Charmer, Quartet, and Bloom to just immediately revive both of them back, because one's a spellcaster, one's an illusion. They're both dark attributes. So board plays well around Super Poly. They can't Super Poly the Black Chaos because it's unaffected. The only thing, and we don't have the new Super Poly target, the Elemental Hero that is same type but different attributes. So board's very good into Super Poly. Also, the deck is extremely recursive. Like, it is a very grind heavy deck. If our stuff gets banished, if our stuff gets floodgated, it plays well through. Does Super Duper Poly break the board? Fuck if I know. No one's playing Super Duper Poly. If they are, then they got it. Congrats. I wonder if Super Poly gets hit at all. I hope so. I hope so. I hope it gets put down back to 1. 1 is basically unplayable. But yeah, the deck is super grindy. And is able to cycle through materials very easily. We don't care about Shifter. We don't immediately lose to Shifter like we would with White Forest. Because if anything is banished, even if the extra deck rip us or banish monsters in the extra deck, this card here, Skull Archfiend of Chaos, if this card is sent to the graveyard, accesses our engine, accesses our ritual monsters, but more so than anything, you can special summon this card from your graveyard or your hand by targeting 3 cards in any graveyard. Any cards period, doesn't have to be spells, doesn't have to be monsters, doesn't have to be anything, or face up banishment, including a card that mentions Light and Darkness Ritual. So as long as we bring back anything that mentions lightness, any one card that mentions Light and Darkness Ritual, either from banish or graveyard, plus it can be any other 2 cards. So it can be stuff from our opponent's graveyard, it could be like their branded names. This is a free body, free material. And then if you link this off or whatever, if you haven't already activated his effect earlier in the turn, if you link this off or use them as material for anything, his effect activates in grave, dumps a ritual spell from deck to grave. Where is it? Dumps the Light and Darkness ritual spell, adds you your ritual monster, and now we're off to the races. Yeah, not a quick effect though. I mean, it would be very busted if it was a quick effect, to be honest. It would be extremely busted card if it was a quick effect. And then the main combo starter for the deck as well is also not affected by Shifter or Floodgates, because the card is a quick effect, discard this card. So even if they shifted, it still discards, and then it just hits the banishment. It still gets all of our effects. Discard this card to place a Mind Shuffle face down on the field, and then we get to activate Mind Shuffle that turn. How this deck plays around Joel is also through Griffo, sorry. because the fact that this is a quick effect to discard means that we can activate it into the draw phase. Go Grifo, place Mind Shuffle even on our opponent's turn, can also do that. Whatever is placed by Grifo is activatable this turn, so still in the draw phase, we activate Mind Shuffle. Go Mind Shuffle effect on activation to add us our Skull Archfiend. Discard the Skull Archfiend. Now we do the Skull Archfiend effect, send the Ritual of Light and Darkness. And now we have our Black Chaos. Then these add back. And boom. One card before. These would add back during the main phase, obviously. But what we get access to our engine, one card through in the draw phase through draw. Yes, you would not do it in the draw phase of your opponent because they could easily just remove that card. True. That is how you play. So pop and pop. So let's go over the rest of the deck. Also, Ragged Records of Rights is an extremely strong card. The fact that you don't have to open your starter, you don't have to open your ritual spell, is crazy. Let me sort this out real fast. And I'll talk about the card choices, why I chose the numbers so far for testing purposes. All three super polys, yeah. BLS. Oh, well, no. Did he get shuffled into the extra? Yep, there he is. Oh. Okay. Bum bum. Bum bum. Bum bum. Bum bum. Oh, perfect. All right. How's the deck do against Coltoon? I mean, it depends on what you open. Same with any Coltoon matchup. Like if you open, if you don't open your board breakers and they stack the top of your deck and you have nothing into a blank. I mean, you have some plays, obviously, but like it's hard to say. I don't think there's any like 100-0 like, oh, this deck is great. This deck is the Coltoon beater because of just how if Coltoon goes first and you don't open anything to interact with them, how the deck operates. It outgrinds Coltoon. Like you saw when we played Dark Magician versus Coltoon on stream when the Fallen and the Virtuous stuff came out. Like we outgrind Coltoon. We make their day miserable. But if they open the FTK, they open the FTK. let's talk about it. This deck is 41 cards. It's as consistent or as low as I could get it. There is one card you can cut down on to make it an even 40 if you wanted to. I'm contemplating making it an even 40 by cutting that one card. I'll have to see more in testing. But right now, because we're not playing the branded package, I like that card at multiples because we want our spells to resolve. It's Farah. So first and foremost, we have the rituals, the 2 ritual monsters. You only play one of each. You only need one of each. If one gets banished, you recycle it with the summoned skull. Our main starters for the deck are the 3 Grifo, instant 3 of in every version of this deck, no matter what. 3 Black Chaos. I've seen some people cut this down to 2 because while it is a starter, while it is a starter for the deck, by discarding it and placing the trap, the Mind Shuffle trap onto your field, it's not a quick effect to do so. So you can't do it during draw phase. So it does play worse into the hand traps. But honestly, I want as many starters as possible in the deck to make the deck as consistent as possible in the deck. And then we have the 3 Ragged Records of Rights. If you're playing like a larger secondary engine, like if you're playing the branded, I can see this going down to 2. But this also is just a great board breaker card as well, going second. When going first, I would probably cut one of these cards out. Sorry, going first or second, I would probably cut one of these cards out. Actually, yeah, going second, I would cut this card out as one of the side cards and just run 2 copies. Going first, you want as many starters as possible. You never want to cut out your starters of the deck. We have weird question. Have you tried to follow the branded storyline? What do you mean? Like the anime? It's complicated. I mean, yeah, it's like the lore decks that they do. I think, what was that? The 2021 lore deck of the year? Remember, just like everything revolves around the branded storylines. I mean, same thing that they did with White Forest for 2024. White Forest was the lore deck where every archetype that was released was kind of revolved around White Forest in some way, with the Goblin Bikers, the Azamina stuff, so on and so forth. And same thing with Elf Notes and, sorry, not Elf Notes, Medius this year. Because of Medius is the actual school, whatever, art mage, that's what it's called, as the art mage lore. It's also the Doomsday lore. It's also the Elf Note lore. Who was the other one? Visas Starfrost was also, yeah, Visas with was Tearlaments, Monodium. I think that was the year that I started playing. It was like, what, 2023, 2022, 2023. It was Monodium, Tearlaments, Scareclaw, what else? How many archetypes are based on Norse mythology? At least 3 that I know of. Either 2 or 3, yeah. Because there's Nordens, which is Norse mythology. There's also the Synchro deck, that is Thor, Loki, Odin. And then, the Angel, the Valkyries is also Norse mythology. So at least 3. So anyways, back to the deck. Back to talking. There are 5. Oh, nice. Crazy. Where are the 2 that I was missing? Oh yeah, Rudin. Yeah, Runic is technically because of Huggin and Moonin. So yeah. In any case, back to what we were focusing on, what we were talking about. Two Skull Archfiend to Chaos. Definitely don't play one of these because if one gets banished, then your recycle power is completely gone, and a lot of the times you're either using him as material turn one to extend your plays, or you're keeping him in hand to discard, but you always at least want access to at least one to discard to the graveyard to get your whatever ritual monster you're missing for your opponent's turn. And then the last is the 1 Celtic Mystic. I might bump this up to 2 because this particular build of the deck doesn't. Oh, Generator. Yeah, you're right. Generator. You're so right. You're so right. Generator is damn it. I should have known that one. So Jormungandr, duh. And Har. But yeah, the 1 Celtic Mystic, I might bump this up just because this deck doesn't have many normal summons. I think there's 3 total normal summonable cards in this deck outside of like a Mulcharmy Fualos. But he is searchable. His just effect is not great. Like getting 2 Graceful Charity would be nice. But the fact that he extra deck locks us means that our board is always going to be a half board if we ever have to normal summon this guy. He's kind of like the cherry on top. In fact, playing the 1 Mystic feels too risky with an extra deck strategy. Nah, not really. Worst comes to worst. If we have to normal summon him, we have plays to set up. Ideally, like he's the last thing you do is normal summon him, or we normal summon him during our opponent's turn to Graceful Charity into more interruptions. But he's honestly he's not awful, and you also just need more names, and he is searchable. He is searchable. And also like getting 2 Graceful Charity, like he is like a ripcord of emergency. Like, hey, if we open like Grifo plus yeah, that's where the Debtors comes in. You can normal summon during your opponent's turn. No, but you can mind shuffle him onto the field during your opponent's turn. It's on normal or special summon. But he is the like ripcord, break glass in case of emergency card. Like he is, I didn't open either engine. I need to draw 3 cards to get to, like it's either I make no board or a half board kind of card. And usually it only comes up if like I've opened Grifo and Ragged Records of Rights in the same opening hand. Because a lot of times your Ragged Records of Rights is either going to get Grifo or going to get Black Chaos. But I digress. Then 2 ritual spells, because you always want 1 in circulation, 1 in the deck, or 1 in your hand for the Skull Archfiend Send. I don't know how people are playing this deck with just only 1 ritual spell. It's really bad because if this card is stuck in the graveyard for any reason, you don't get to play. Or if this card gets banished for any reason, you don't get to play, like DD Crow or anything, if that comes up. And then 2 Mind Shuffle is also pretty standard, because if they get rid of 1, also you can go, if you open 1, it's really bad unless we have a way of discarding it via Dia Bellstar. Or and then the other thing is, if you do open it and you have a Farah, you can go Farah, reveal Mind Shuffle. Now your opponent cannot respond to the effects of Mind Shuffle for both players' turns until the end of their next end step. into the next turn. So having 2 with Farah especially is very strong. Okay, that is the typical ratios. Like I said, only cuttable card. You could argue to cut the mystical elf, but I like having a normal summon that can bridge the archetype, potentially bridge the archetypes. Archetypes. That helps against ogre. Yeah, no, absolutely helps against ogre. It helps against everything. They can't ogre you, can't ash it. They could fall into the virtuous still, just not on the chain. But then that gives you opportunity to chain it and then go into the Dark Magician of Chaos to protect it. Also helps against them chaining Fallen in the Virtuous to your effect. Like the instance that was brought up earlier in the chat is like having Dark Magician of Chaos on the field. They activate something, we go Mind Shuffle, bounce the Dark Magician of Chaos to remove our protection, and they can't then go Fallen in the Virtuous to pop it. All right, rest of the starters. We have 3 Diabell Star of the Black Witch, since we are playing the Azamina engine. This is 1 card Dragoon. This is as well as Vanilla Sylvia. We have 3 Wanted, 1 Deception, 1 Hallowed Azamina, and then we said it earlier. Oh, we're playing the hats. We are playing Chaos Magical Hats in the deck. This is basically a negate, but this does get sided out a lot of times going second, or this gets sided out going second. But this card is pretty decent. I would like to try and play the Mystic Box, but I think the Mystic Box is too cute to play. At least for right now. Maybe there's a time where it does come up. But back to the Azamina stuff, then we're on the 1 debtors, like we talked about. So 9 Azamina cards, or 9 Sinful Spoils cards, 9 whatever cards. Debtors is in the main deck because specifically for turns that we have to access, we have to normal summon. Ruling for Chaos Hats, they do not have levels when they are face down. Because the parentheses is only for the name that they become Chaos Magical Hats. They do not have monsters do not have levels when they are face down. So you cannot bounce a hats back to your hand to summon out something else. The same thing why you can't like synchro with face down monsters or Xyz with face down monsters. And then how we bridge into the Diabell Star and stuff if we don't open directly both engines is 1 Magician Souls. Also technically part of the DM package is Gaze. So anytime that we open either or, we have 2 search targets for DMod. Magician Soul is if we've already opened the Diabell Star, or we've already opened both engines, like we've opened a Wanted plus preparation, plus the Ragged Ritual of Rites, or like a Grifo or anything like that. If we have access to both engines, we're always searching Gaze. If we need access to Diabell Star, then you search Magician Souls, send the Diabell Star, and go through your plays. You can even draw 2 cards with Magician Souls if you wanted to, since we have ways of cycling back all of our spells, and we want spells in our graveyard. For non-engine, A very small non-engine. It's just a 3 Fuelos. Yes, you can fusion and ritual with face down, but they don't have levels. You don't need levels for fusions. Also, I don't think you can ritual for face, and ritualing checks the levels as well. But anyways, or ritualing does not check the levels. Mind Shuffle specifically has to be a level 7 or higher monster, is why you cannot bounce them. Non-engine, 3 Fuelos. Honestly, I don't know if Fuelos is going to be good this format. A lot of decks can play around Fuelos, but it at least makes people play half boards for the most part. But getting 1 or 2 draws is more than enough. Could honestly see main deck. Could honestly see main deck. Purulia over Fuelos, but for now, Fuelos at least hits more of the generic stuff. So, or like decks that are not branded or not Kill Tune. That's all right. I'm okay. I'm continuing. I'm continuing before I say something. Then the other non-engine pseudo hand trap is 2 Pharah. Pharah, really good card. A lot of people are just playing it 1-of. The branded deck is playing it 1-of because it is searchable in the branded deck with the level 8 synchro. We can't really search the Pharah, but if we do, so we're playing multiple copies. But if we do open the Pharah, then the Pharah protects all of our spells, or protects the ones that we need to resolve, like the Mind Shuffle, like I said. Pharah plus Mind Shuffle means that our Mind Shuffle is protected for both turns. A Pharah plus Wanted, Pharah plus the Ragged Records of Rights, making sure that resolves. Pharah in general is insanely good, crazy card. You can send it with Deception to get your Hallowed Azamina, and then revive it back as material. And if you revive it back as material, that means that it is a level 8 spellcaster, so you can then just banish it to make a D-mod, and that keeps your Diabellstar on the field to bounce. In turn, there's a lot of little synergistic things with this deck, and I'm going to go over as many as I can remember that have come up in testing. Rest of the non-engine is pretty good, is pretty standard generic stuff for this format. 3 Super Poly, 2 Fallen in the Virtuous, and the 1 Called by the Grave. I wish I could play 3 Fallen in the Virtuous, but there's already like, you already need to open like 1.5 cards, and so adding another card, adding a 3rd copy of a card that doesn't do anything on its own is really bad. So that is the non-engine. Like I said, 41 cards. You could honestly cut Pharah down to 1, or if you didn't want to play the Debtor stuff, you can just take out Mystical Elf. But I like the consistency more. I like being able to draw cards more, getting the option to draw into more interruption or for my opponent's turn. Some of the fun interactions with this deck is Black Chaos, Pharah, Diabellstar, and even Magician of Black Chaos are all D-mod targets are all like demoddable cards to make demod. Oh, extra deck. Here, let's do extra deck first. Extra deck super poly targets, Mud Dragon, Garura are the main ones. I tried running Chorizo in here. I tried running the level 8 one we talked about, the Yugioh, as another super poly target. There's just not a whole lot of room in the extra deck. The extra deck is very tight. There are some like grind game cards that you can take out, but I'd rather have like stronger grind game than like higher end boards, if that makes sense. So these are the like most relevant super poly targets. Honorary super poly target that we have in here that's also great for the grind game is Dragon that Devours the Dogma. So we can basically super poly an entire branded board with Dragon that Devours the Dogma, make a towers, because I believe, double check real fast, as well, if an Ecclesia is in any graveyard, including our opponents, he becomes a towers. So they go Fallen in the White, summon the Ecclesia. Pharaoh will not trigger if sent by deception. You sure? Oh yeah, it's by spell or trap effect. Okay, that's weird. Because you can that's weird because you can ritual with it. Good call on that. Okay. Well, anyways, all right. So you can't deception the Pharaoh, or you can't revive the Pharaoh from deception. But we can also, we'll get to the other extra deck cards that brings it back as well for material. Sending off Mind Shuffle is really good too. Yeah, discard for Mind Shuffle. I don't think it then works for Super Poly then, because Super Poly is a discard for cost to activate Super Poly. So it's either send for the ritual spell or send for Mind Shuffle in the deck. Or just fine. We just change up our lines, like we tweak one step in the line. What were we talking about? We were talking about Dragon Devours Dogma. Yeah. This as a super poly target, like I said, I expect branded to be the best deck in the format. A lot of people just on branded or branded variants. So this is why this is in here. Also, because it is also an additional searcher, like Albion, at the end step adds a Dogmatica or Tribe Brigade card. It adds a Fallen and the Virtuous in this deck. And with the Skull Archfiend of Chaos, we can constantly recycle even if we've already used both of our Fallen and the Virtuouses. We can constantly recycle our Fallen and the Virtuouses by putting it on the bottom of our deck along with two other cards for the Skull Archfiend of Chaos to summon. So we always have like the ability to recycle our wanted cards. Asmina, very small package, just the Murcielago, just the Illa Sylvia. This blank here is Ecclesia Synchro. This is why I haven't been able to make any videos yet about the decks, because I need to go buy an Ecclesia Synchro and no one has any for sale. They just have their one that they have. But this is an Ecclesia Synchro. I've just been borrowing it from a friend. I might have one tomorrow. It feels bad buying an $80 card, but I might buy one tomorrow. I just don't want to go, I don't want to get to nationals and have to like stress and find it day 0 while I'm playing the Genesis tournament. But this is Ecclesia Synchro. We have Albion the Branded Dragon as the, obviously because of the Fallen of the Virtuous. We then have our Demod and our Dragoon. Pretty self-explanatory. And then for links, it's a very link heavy deck. We are on IP, SP. A lot of times inboard is going to be either IP plus like your Diabell Star or your Diabell Star or your like rituals, and Illa Sylvia. You make Dragoon during your opponent's turn, or like after they've used like their important stuff like their droplets or their super polys, stuff like that. If they keep the IP on the field, we make Dragoon with Gaze set, and then use our Dragoon effect, go IP with Dragoon to make Selene, and then a Selene effect, revive Dragoon, and now we have a second negate with the Dragoon. IP is the most redundant in this, but I needed also another link 2 in the deck that is useful. And until we get this, will get replaced by the Cyberse Witch Girl that comes out in September, but need it for right now. It's also great for half boards, like I said. This is a very, like, if we get interrupted, we have a lot of stuff to fall back on. It's not a combo heavy deck, but we have a lot of stuff to fall back on to set up interruptions during opponent's turn. Then we have the Cross Sheep for combos for plays. You can have Cross Sheep played. In some situations, some cases, you can have it pointing to your ritual and pointing, and then summon your Illa Sylvia to the other zone that is pointing to. And then you get both effects of Cross Sheep. You get to draw 2 cards and discard 2 cards, so you get to filter more. And then you get to special summon your other material. To go into your Link 3 play, which is your Link 3 play is Selene. And then Selene revives to go into your Link 4 play of the Charmer, Quartet, and Bloom. And then we have one final Link 5 in Zinna's Deceiving Doll Maidens. Another card I was testing that I'm like back and forth on is cutting the Dragon that Devours the Dogma for an access code, just because, but just so that this deck can end games quickly. But it is a very grind heavy deck. So like you can put your opponent into a position where they can't come back. You're just like outvaluing them constantly. So I don't even know if that is worth it or not. Put this back in order. There we go. But the Zinna, if you haven't seen this card, this is the new Ultra from the set. It on summon sends any monster from your deck to the graveyard. You can, with full lines, this bridges both archetypes because or makes half boards of both archetypes. So like if you just open the Diabell Star stuff or the Asmina stuff, you make enough materials to go into to make this Zinna, and then Zena dumps the Summoned Skull from your deck, triggers the Summoned Skull, dumps the ritual, adds the demod, or adds the fuck, what am I thinking? The demod or the demock or the Blackluster Soldier, and then you can add the ritual and the Summoned Skull back to your hand to summon either to the field. So this bridges to the rituals, and then you just basically link this back off with any one material, so you can summon out the Summoned Skull if you wanted to, and link it off with the Summoned Skull to go back into your link 2 into your IP, just to get this 0 attack off the board. There's another reason for the IP. Okay, so what we were saying earlier was these 4 targets, or these 4 cards, are your demod cards. All of them are Dark Spellcasters, level 6 or higher. They all get you into demod, which gets you into Dragoon, or gets you into Gaze. If you don't open the Diabell Star or Wanted, you can use these. It's okay to use the Black Chaos, because again, we can shuffle back the Black Chaos, or put the Black Chaos back on the bottom of our deck with our Summoned Skull. So it's back in rotation, so even if it's banished, we get it back. And then this one is probably the one that comes up the least, but Farah is also a good target. So yeah, Kevin said it in the chat. Farah plus Super Poly. Discarding it does not get Farah back, but fusing off with Farah, if you have Farah on your inboard, gets her back. But we can also you can also just Celine her back during our opponent's turn, because either Celine her back or Charmer's Quartet and Bloom her back. So if they like get rid of Illa Sylvia, if we end on Illa Sylvia, we have a Farah in the grave, and we have Charmer's Quartet and Bloom up here. And let's say they pop Illa Sylvia, or I don't know what they would do, Super Poly Illa Sylvia, or anything with Illa Sylvia. We can go Charmer's Quartet and Bloom. Illa Sylvia is a Dark Illusion. Farah is a Dark Spellcaster. It summons both of them. Now we have the Omni, and Farah is on any means that it's summoned from the graveyard. It doesn't have to be her own effect to summon from the graveyard. Farah would then trigger and take their monster. This deck is very just like small synergies deck, and it's a lot of fun. It's very cool. And we'll do a couple of test hands. We'll mess around with test hands for a little bit. Like I said, I'm gonna do more in-depth video, because I know a lot of people have already done their like, this is how you build Ritual Light and Darkness with Branded, and one card combos with Albaz. This deck is not a one card combo deck, and I don't think it needs to be a one card combo deck. I don't think one card combos are super important. Like, they're great to show off for videos, but I don't think they're like, and to show like when you've exhausted all of your resources, like what you can still manage to accomplish. But I don't think they're like good for showing off the strength of a deck, if that makes sense. Like, White Force is not a one card combo deck, but it is still a very strong deck. We're gonna shuffle up real fast. want to get a good shuffle because I just ordered everything. Saw a fuck ton of videos of branded plus new stuff and one with Mitsu Chaos. I do think I think the Mitsu Chaos stuff is not bad, but I do think like both archetypes lose to Droll pretty heavily. And the stuff that Mitsu does, like to add to the deck, like making a Murakumo, is not very strong. Like it doesn't really add too much to the ceiling. Like I get the appeal of it, of like, oh, it's ritual stuff, additional ritual stuff. You can ragged records for the reveal mirror to get Habakiri. Now, like that's cool, but I think you just honestly just play Mitsu then at that point. Like you just play pure Mitsu with ragged records rather than, or play already previously established Mitsu builds prior, rather than play the ritual stuff or add the ritual stuff to it. Someone said it, I believe it was Scarlon on Twitter that said it earlier today, and I quote tweeted it because it's actually really true for Yu-Gi-Oh especially, is you don't rip up your floorboards to increase your ceiling. Like you don't deck build and ruin the consistency and basis of your deck, like what the deck is set to accomplish, to get a higher combo inboard, to get like a unsustainable inboard that you're not going to get a lot of the times. Like there is a I did see like one Azamina ritual build that was running a Firewall Dragon plus like Protect Code Talker to bridge the two archetypes, and it's just like a very like combo deck. You're doing like 50 actions just to still end on an Illa Sylvia and your ritual monster, and I don't think that's necessary, or like I don't think that's feasible. Well, I mean, you will be able to, if your opponent is like, oh, sets their hand down, like I have no interactions, yeah, you can combo off for days and you can do all that, but I don't think it's feasible in like a or viable in a competitive setting. I don't think like general times of a tournament you're gonna get it off like the majority of the time. You might get it off once or twice and be very cool, very pog, you bridge the two archetypes, but I think there's a lot simpler ways to build, just play on half boards. Like just ensure your half board is strong and you can consistently get to your half board. All right. Sorry, I should rest my arms on the table more so it picks up on camera. I hope this is shuffled enough. Like I said, without pile shuffling, I'm really bad at randomizing very well. Like I am a pile shuffler. I am a games 2 pile shuffler. Like unless we're close to time, then I am not a pile shuffler. Then we just let Jesus take the wheel at that point and just hope for the best. Hope it's like nice and randomized, but all right, should be good. All right, big cut. We've got a called by, cool, 1 dead card. We got a Farah, 2 dead cards. There's a starter, 3. There's the second starter. All right, we have both engines and a Fuwa. So yeah, I mean, this hand's great. Like, what do you want me to say, big dog? Awesome. Cool game that we had here. So yeah, draw phase, wanted just to play around, Droll, the best of our ability. Get our shiny Diabell Star. And then go standby main. We can go Farah if we really want this records to resolve, since it's both of our engines, or we can save the Farah for our Hallowed Azamina if we wanted that as well. We wanted to make sure that resolves, or made sure. You can also go Farah, or you can also save Farah for Hallowed Azamina, so now they can't Fua you after Hollow, or in response to Hallowed Azamina. They would have to Fua you after, so it gives them one less Fua draw. So that is also a very strong interaction. But let's pretend that we just want the Fua to resolve, or we want the Ragged Records to resolve. So we'll Farah reveal Ragged Records of Rights. So now they can't respond to Ragged Records of Rights. We'll go Ragged Records. Reveal. This deck does a lot of revealing, I'll be honest. It's kind of a slutty deck. Reveal Light and Darkness Ritual. Sorry, I'm trying to position where you can see everything. So reveal the ritual. Now we get anything from our hand that we possibly want of the archetype. So we can get our Garifo, we can get our Black Chaos, whichever one you want. We can just get Garifo here. Garifo is the easiest one to talk about. So this is revealed. This is going to go back in the deck. And then record resolves, got Garifo. We'll discard Garifo to the graveyard. We'll place or set. So used to placing from Elf Notes. We'll set Mind Shuffle. We'll activate Mind Shuffle. Mind Shuffle effect. Add the Skull Archfiend. Discard a card, will immediately discard that Skull Archfiend. You can also, like I said, discard the Farah if we already had access to Skull Archfiend or already used Skull Archfiend in the combo. And then Farah would be a free material free body, but we can, there's other stuff we can do for this Farah. So yeah, Skull Archfiend is going to dump the ritual now from our deck and add us the Magician of Black Chaos. Now, because the ritual is in the grave, plus a monster that mentions a Ritual of Black Chaos or a Ritual of Light and Darkness, we can add those two cards back. So we can add back the ritual, add back the Skull Archfiend. And look, we have 7 cards back in our hand, chat. Like this deck is crazy in card advantage. All right. Now we can go Ritual of Light and Darkness. We can send the Farah. You can also just banish the Garifo from your grave if you wanted to. But this is the best use of our Farah outside of using it for deception material. So we'll summon out the Magician of Dark Chaos, Black Chaos, and then Magician of Black Chaos, Dark Chaos, whatever chaos. We'll add back any spell from our grave. We'll just add back the ritual spell. This keeps the Skull Archfiend in our hand for our opponent's turn as a discard effect. So we can just add the add any other target with our Mind Shuffle. But now Farah comes back. We can now banish the Farah immediately. For our demod, because we opened both engines, we don't need souls. So demod will just search the gaze. Boop. Now we can go Diabell Star. Send it really doesn't matter, honestly. You want to keep at least one level 7 or 8 on the field just in case. So we want to keep this Diabell Star on the field as much as humanly possible. We'll send the Fua to set Deception. Also can just send the ritual spell if you wanted to, because we can always get the shuffle the ritual spell back. I think that'd actually be better. Let's just send the ritual, and then we'll send the Fuwa for activating the Deception. Let's do it that way. So Deception, send Fuwa, add Hallowed. Hallowed. Now we can go Hallowed for Moo. Send the Deception. Moo adds Wanted. Now you can link these two off just to get the Moo or Yugioh into the grave, or into the IP Masquerena, or you can go into Cross Sheep and put it on. If we want to get more card advantage, you can go Cross Sheep to link these two off into Cross Sheep, and then we put an Illusylvia here, and now we get both effects of Cross Sheep. Oh, hold on. Yeah, an alarm going off. So here is just how much do you want to style, chat? How much do we want to style? Let's do the Cross Sheep one, because that's funny. So we'll link these two off. We'll make a Cross Sheep. We'll now go Hallowed Azamina, shuffle back the Moo, get Hallowed Azamina. Now we'll go Hallowed, send the Wanted. We already activated Wanted to start this, so we don't need, can't activate it again, obviously. We will make an Illusylvia, and then that will trigger Cross Sheep. It's pointing to a ritual and a fusion. So we'll do ritual effects to draw 2, discard 2. We'll draw a Super Poly, draw a Celtic Mystic. So there's a normal summon if we wanted it to. Really doesn't matter what we discard. For sake of video, well, or for sake of the combo, let's just do that. Or we could discard the Skull Archfiend, whatever. Then we resolve revive back. We can honestly just revive this Celtic Mystic if we wanted to. And then we get one more. Yeah, let's just revive the Celtic. Do I need another summon? I don't think I do. I think we're about to say, the smart decision would just be like revive Fuwalos or revive Garifo. But let's do Celtic Mystic because it's silly and funny. So Celtic Mystic effect on revive. We reveal our entire hand. We can set these two cards face down. This Hallowed's gone. Reveal our entire hand. We reveal the Skull Archfiend of Chaos. Now we draw 2. No, we draw 3. Discard 2. 3. Discard these 2. Keep the Blackluster Soldier in hand now, or we can keep the Super Poly and discard the Blackluster Soldier since we'll get access to both. Now we can go. We have one left. Now we're locked out of the extra deck. We have one more summon left. So we can go, we can go Skull Archfiend effect, special, shuffle back the Blackluster Soldier, the Farah, and whatever else we want in here. Probably the Ritual, just in case. So put these all back on the bottom of the deck. Like I said, this is just the greedy line. This is the super greedy line. You won't be doing this normally. So we'll use our last extra deck summon. Link all four, or link 4 into Charmer, Quartet and Bloom. And then we will end this off by banishing a Wanted, put Deception on the bottom. Draw an additional random card. We drew Ragged Records. So overall, all you're getting to, then now during our opponent's turn, we Mind Shuffle, add the Skull Archfiend, discard the Skull Archfiend immediately, send the Ritual again, and then add the Blackluster Soldier. So you're always going to be circling back to some Link monster, whether it's Charmer, Quartet and Bloom, whether it's Celine or IP Masquerena, plus one of the Ritual monsters on the field to protect your back row, plus Illa Sylvia, and then one level 7, so we don't have to lose that back row protection. One level 7 higher, this will either be your Diabell Star or your Pharah. Is generally some like variants of the import, and we cycled through like over half our deck with just drawing cards. Had we like done it in other directions, we could have also still gotten the Magician's Souls cycle to draw to. So it is just some variant of this, and then getting access to the Blackluster Soldier during your opponent's turn, so you can like bounce these two back. If we to get the banish for this, we have Gaze here to make the Dragoon. Dragoon can discard the Diabell Star. Diabell Star effect can send the Dragoon, and then Charmer's Quartet and Bloom can revive both the Dragoon and the Skull Archfiend of Chaos, because one's a Dark Fiend, one's a Dark Spellcaster. Actually, you would chain it differently. Let's see. Red Eyes Dragoon negate. There's a way to chain it differently. I think there's a way to chain it by getting the Skull Archfiend of Chaos on the board first, or the Charmer, Quartet and Bloom first. How do I do this? This is on the field. Bounces back to hand for Soldier. This is in the grave. We go Charmer's Quartet and Bloom. Oh, it's the Sin effect, whatever. I think I have to use it for like Super Poly or whatnot. But yeah, if you lose the Dragoon for any reason, you can just revive the Dragoon with Quartet and Bloom to get your second Omni. So yeah. That's the deck. That's why I like the Azumina version of this deck. I should have gotten a little bit smaller for this. Apologize if you couldn't see everything. There we go, much better. And we still have the Super Poly set, so you could still discard Super Poly or discard this Ragged Record of Rights. For the Super Poly off the Dragoon if you wanted to, if it's just there and you've already used the effect for it. and their board into whatever we want. Can even, if we're playing against Brandon, it can even make the Dragon that Devours the Dogma in that opportunity. And then revive the Dragoon plus the Skull Arch Fiend of Chaos. Now, important thing to know, Mind Shuffle, the card has to go back to your hand to activate the effect. So you cannot Mind Shuffle back extra deck monsters because they wouldn't go back to your hand. Obviously, they would just go back to the extra deck if they were to be bounced. So it has to be a main deck monster, has to be, and then it has to be level 7 or higher, and it has to be whatever you're summoning out has to be something that mentions the Ritual of Light and Darkness. Why does this look blown out? Without Dragoon, because cost though? What's wrong with Dragoon? Oh, the cost of demod. Yeah, absolutely understandable. There we go. I don't know why that was, it was so blown out. Looks a little bit better. Don't know what's going on with the camera today. Yeah. All right. I'm going to get OCD about it if I look at it for too long. Hopefully that's better. Hopefully that looks a little better. So yeah, I was opening both engines. It's pretty good. You get to do some silly stuff if you open both engines. Again, obviously, that is against, like, that's just doing stupid, silly things against no interaction. Like an Ash and Bell. Yeah. Oh. Well, in that situation, we opened Call by the Grave. We opened the one of, so Ash wouldn't have done anything, Joel wouldn't have done anything, Afua wouldn't have done anything. I think the only thing that we did that played into Bell was in that line was doing the cross sheet play, and like I said, the cross sheet play is super silly. You can also stack the cross sheet play. You also stack your triggers differently on it. Oh no, it has to resolve in order. Never mind, it has to resolve in order, or in the order that they're listed. Yeah, you just wouldn't do the cross sheet play if you're afraid of Bell. All right. Trying to shuffle up again. Give me 1 second. Yeah, you check for Bell with Ritual Spell, or they might even Bell Wanted, to be honest. Yeah. Which your half boards with this deck, like, is just playing either engine. So like if you're half board, if they, in that situation, if they belled your Wanted, or ashed your Wanted in draw phase, then we had Records of Rights there, plus Farah, to go into full ritual combo. And with some hands, you can even, like I said, bridge into the Azamina stuff. All right, pop, 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 pop. Okay, big cut. Boom. One Deaders, dead card. Farah, also kind of dead card. Mind Shuffle. All right, this hand sucks. Oh, we brought it back. Never mind. We're so goated. All right. If we were scared of interaction, like you're scared of Ash Blossom or whatever, like I said, this is our 1-card starter. So we're scared of interaction. You would Farah, reveal Ragged Records of Rights, add Ragged Record, so now they can't respond to Ragged Records of Rights. Activate Ragged Records, reveal. Reveal Light and Darkness Ritual, and then you would add the probably just Grifo is the place. Reveal Mind Shuffle. If they're gonna Ash, they're gonna 100. Well, we can't if they're going to Ash, they are going to Ash the Mind Shuffle, but we have no access to Mind Shuffle. Like if we, so run this back real fast. If we go Pharaoh, reveal Mind Shuffle here, then we go and we go Ragged Records of Rights to start our combo during our turn. Then they Ash this. We're just going set Mind Shuffle and pass. But at least they can't activate Mind Shuffle, or and then we have an unrespondable Mind Shuffle that doesn't do anything outside of getting us 1 banish during our opponent's turn. So yeah, well, Ragged Records, just to show like what we could do during our turn. Yeah, but that's fine though. I mean, it's okay. I don't think it's going to be enough to stop a lot of decks. Like if to play that out, we pass our turn. We don't get this. They Ash our Ragged. Boom. During their draw phase, activate Mind Shuffle. Mind Shuffle. Get Skull Archfiend to Chaos, because we still don't have access to any ritual here. We had to discard the Skull Archfiend to Chaos. We can't even discard the Farah here. Now we dump the if they had Ash, they would Ash this. They had Ash the Send here. It ends up being the same thing if they Ash a Mind Shuffle. Trying to do the line in my head. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I guess it doesn't really matter. I mean, in that case, then you could go, instead of add the Garifo, if we're playing around Ash, specifically in this thing, playing into Ash, I mean, we would Farah, this is in hand, this is the opening hand. We would Farah, Ragged Records of Rights, add the elf. Normal the elf. This would probably be the Ash check then, if they had one Ash. Because I don't think there would be any way. Like, it's either they Ash check, it's either Ash checks, or they're like, they have the mindset of they won't. I think people won't Ash Corrupted, because if you already have Black Chaos, Mind Shuffle is the choke point. But if they hit your access to Mind Shuffle, then you don't get the ritual. Like, you have no way of getting to the ritual. Like, granted, he doesn't know my hand, obviously. That's why, like, doing these kind of exercises are very fucking silly, because everyone in the YouTube chat will have an opinion. None of them get like, the Garifo doesn't get ashed because it places, it sets. The Black Chaos won't get ashed because it places, but they just ash the Mind Shuffle is what. Like, if they're not ashing the Ragged Records of Rights, then if I go Farah, reveal Mind Shuffle, and they don't ash the Ragged Records of Rights, then they throw. But assuming, again, assuming they have one Ash Blossom, we go Farah, reveal Ragged Records. Even if they Ash the Mind Shuffle, we still have Mind Shuffle set for their turn. Like, we still end up in the same place, so it doesn't really matter. I think if you go Farah, reveal Mind Shuffle, they 100% Ash this Records. Then we just have a Mind Shuffle with no way of getting any monster on the field. Like, you would have to, regardless. Now you go Mind Shuffle, add the Ritual monster, add a Black Chaos, or the Blackluster Soldier of Chaos or whatever. Discard the Farah, revive the Farah. Now we have a Mind Shuffle target for the Blackluster Soldier of Chaos, or Blackluster Soldier. I think if we were playing this as to bait interaction from our opponent to make our Mind Shuffle untargetable, and they let the Ragged Records of Rights resolve, I think you go normal summon Celtic Mystic. If they don't ash this, I don't know if I'm pretty sure they would ash a Graceful Charity, because they would see this as a sign of weakness. Otherwise, like, they risk you bridging into your deck. Oh, never mind. We don't have anything to reveal. I'm stupid. All right, never mind. Not this Celtic Mystic. So yeah. So that's why I hate doing these exercises, because everyone will come up with a different scenario. Like, oh, what if they had ash plus this, or 2 ashes? Like there's infinite numbers of cards that they could have. And everyone has a different opinion on what the opponent would ash. We also... Also, we don't know how bad our opponent is. Our opponent could just be bad and no idea what the deck does. But also with that kind of testing, then if you treat it like chess, and if you are playing, you're going to inevitably also make mistakes. You have the information, your opponent doesn't. Yeah. Again, like, you can think of alternative lines, but you also have complete information of what you have in your hand and your opponent doesn't. So anyone else can say, oh, you should do that line differently because they know you, because you had this in hand. All right. I mean, this is full combo both engines. If I was to play this out against someone, I would go Diabell Star, send the Light and Darkness Ritual, because we always get that back. We have to keep a monster in hand for the Deception, and attempt to set the Deception. Now someone can be like, oh, what if they had Imperm here? Then, all right, we go Ragged Records of Rights. If they have Ash for the Ragged Records, cool. They open 2 forms of interaction. We banish, make a Dragoon and pass. Like, we go Deception here. Activate Deception. Deception effect, send Fuelos. If they ash this, they would probably ash this, I guess. But we already have Hallowed Asmina in hand, so it doesn't really matter. But if they don't ash it, we get Debtors. Now we activate Hallowed Asmina. You can play around Imperm with that hand, though. Yeah, I mean, we play through Imperm, like you just go Ragged Records, but then again, you're not understanding what I'm saying. I'm saying anyone on YouTube can go, okay, you played around Imperm. What if they have Ash after the Imperm? Now you don't do anything. This deck sucks. Like, there's a million different things the opponent can have. Set up Mind Shuffle with Ritual beforehand. But what if they have Ash for the rights, though? But then, like, there's... I hate these exercises. I hate these exercises so much. Like, yeah, you can play around Imperm. No one's playing Imperm in their main deck. You could start with Ragged Records of Rights if you want to play around specifically in perm, but if they ash this, then we don't get access to our ritual line. So this is more important than them in perming a Diabell Star, because if they in perm a Diabell Star, we still get demod. The Cardler? Yeah, I'm the Cardler, baby. Call me the Cardler. So yeah, they would either ash the demod Surge to keep you off of Gaze, to keep you off of a Dragoon, or they would ash which would open up the Deception, or they would ash the Deception Search to keep you off of Hollowed, but we already opened Hollowed, so we get Deaders, and now we can go Hollowed into whatever. I've just been forced to my opponent what I would do if my opponent has 1 to 2 hand traps every game. I'm gonna say a slur. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna fucking do it. Trains have traumatized me. I love trains. Again, any deck can have anything. I don't even think Cool Tune is playing in perms in the most recent lists. So like do I just need to spin a wheel and be like, okay, my opponent has these 2 cards. Let's play around these 2 cards. Is that what's going to be like the easiest to understand? Because if I keep doing lines and then someone goes, oh, but what if they have this? Then it completely changes the line. Like, do I need a little roulette wheel that says, oh, they have Ash and Fuwalos. What do you do? Otherwise, we're gonna just be like looping the same hand every time. Oh, gosh. Oh, this was back in deck. This was back in deck. How's it going, Mom? Give me on. Welcome to my crash out. Welcome to my TED Talk. Welcome to the voices in my head screaming at me. Like, Neko, what if they have this? Oh, what if they have Nibiru? Fucking. Oh, man. Also, like, hardly any decks are main decking Ash outside of Kill Tune. Like most decks, the main deck, and I guess Elf Note. Elf Note's also main decking Ash. Like Albaz is not, or Brandon's not main decking Ash anymore. They're just main decking Fuwalos plus Board Breakers. Or at least in the most recent builds. It could change with this Corey format, but I don't think Ash is very strong in this format. No deck is main decking in perm right now. And then the only decks that are really main decking Ogre and Ghost Bell is KT specifically. Doomsy, I completely forget about Doomsy, I'll be honest. Ugh. So yeah, I'm going to pick 2 hand traps. We're gonna say Ash and like whatever, Ash and Ghost Spell. Those are the 2 that were mentioned earlier. That was the ones we were starting with. So if they had Ash or Ghost Bell, we would want to bait out the Ash with the Deception because we already have access to our Hallowed Azamina. So we would go Diabell Star, send the Light and Darkness Ritual, Diabell Star effect is set. We'll set the Sinful Spoils. We'll activate the Sinful Spoils. Now, depending on what we want, if we want access to our DMod, to Ash check, if we didn't open the Hallowed Azamina here, if we did not have the Hallowed Azamina, I would bait with Deception. Or sorry, I would bait with DMod, because they'll 100% Ash the DMod to keep you off of getting Gaze of Timaeus. But since we already opened the Hallowed Azamina, we're going to bait with the Sinful Spoils. So we will send the Mulcharmifuelos for Deception. They Ash here because they want to keep us off of the Azamina line. They want to keep us off of Omni Negate. We had Hallowed Azamina the entire time. So now we can go Hallowed Azamina. Into Mursiliago. Mursiliago adds Wanted. Send these two. Okay. Now we'll go Banish for DMod. DMod search, and you can either search the Gaze if we want guaranteed Omni, or you can add the Souls for an extender. We're gonna go with guaranteed Omni. Link these two off. So here is where you can either make an IP Masquerena if we want to play low to the ground, or you can make Cross Sheep if we think they have nothing. You can only do Cross Sheep effect once per turn, right? Let me read Cross Sheep. If a monster special summon the card points to, you can apply the following effects in sequence based on the card. 1, 2, yeah. Let's see the IP this time. Okay, so we just make IP. So I would assume my opponent would think that I have no, oh no. See, this is where it's hard to assume what my opponent would think. Because my opponent knows I have Wanted in hand, they know I have Gaze in hand, and they know I have DMod in the grave. So if I go Hallowed, they can either Ghost Spell the Hallowed Shuffle back Rusiliago to keep me off of Illisilvia, but then I just go Gaze, make a Dragoon. So that doesn't really matter. Or they could let me make the Illisilvia and they save Ghost Spell for the Gaze to keep me off a Dragoon. So this is where it's like impossible to figure out what my opponent would do and how we would, like I can only really say like how I would do it at the time, like in response. So like if my opponent, if you make Sylvia, you can guarantee the Dragoon. Yes, yeah. All right, so with that logic from the chat, I'm gonna go with that logic. So if I go Hallowed, target Mursiliago to shuffle back to add back Hallowed, they Ghost Spell this. So none of that happens. That's fine. Now we go Ragged Records of Rights. Now they have no more hand traps, no more interaction. Get Grifo. Reveal the Light and Darkness ritual or whatever from our deck. Or we revealed it. Get Grifo. Discard Grifo. This is also where where Cross Sheep it also works instead of IP Masquerena, because you can ritual to the Cross Sheep line, draw 2, discard 2, and draw into more gas. Just a heads up, but we'll get this. Activate Mind Shuffle. Mind Shuffle. Add and discard Skull Archfiend of Chaos. Skull Archfiend of Chaos. Dump the other ritual, the one that we revealed from our deck, and add the Magician of Black Chaos. We'll go Ritual of Light and Darkness effect, add back, add back. Now we will go Ritual of Light and Darkness. Banish the Grifo from our grave. Make Demok. Demok effect. Add back Hallowed Azamina. Hallowed Azamina, Chain Wanted. Get a Diabell Star, or we can make an Illa Sylvia. I mean, you can do either or. We can, if we didn't want, if we wanted to, if we have the Skull Archfiend in hand, we can add the Grifo off a Mind Shuffle and set the quick play. Like, it still works that way. Anyways, cool. Set gaze. I don't think we even really need to extend any more beyond this. You can if you wanted to, like we could make get to a Link 3 Celine with a bunch of counters on it to revive. Oh no, we don't have a spellcaster engrave. Never mind. To revive the Demok actually, and then a Link 4. But I don't think that's necessary. We can shuffle Ritual back, shuffle Grifo back, shuffle Ritual back. Or put them on the bottom. Just to have them in our hand to special out the Skull Archfiend. What was the spell you recovered with the ritual? I recovered Hollow Azamina. They ghost spelled the Hallowed Azamina. I went with what y'all said. They ghost spelled the Hallowed Azamina, so I brought it back with Black Chaos and made an Illa Sylvia. Wanted. Banish Wanted. Bottom the Deception. Draw an additional card. Drew another Skull Archfiend of Chaos. Yeah, what if they had red reboot? Fuck, what if they were just cheating? Oh, man. So, with this inboard, we still have Gaze of Timaeus to make a Dragoon during opponent's turn. They've used their Ash and their Ghost Spell. We can go IP and during their turn, IP and SP. How many spells and traps? All right, we wouldn't have done. We would have kept one Ritual of Light and Darkness in the grave and brought back. Shuffle back. I don't know. It doesn't fucking matter. Shuffle back the Diabell Star, whatever, or shuffle back the Wanted. Just, you want to keep at least 3 spells in your grave for a Selene. So we can go IP and the Skull Archfiend in the grave for Selene. Selene gets 3 counters. Skull Archfiend is sent to the graveyard, so Skull Archfiend effects. Dump the Ritual. Add add the Blackluster Soldier. Mind Shuffle effect to add the Garifo. Discard the Black Witch. Black Witch can special summon itself back because it was sent during your opponent's turn. So you can also link after using Gaze. Correct. That is what I said in the when I was going over the deck, is like you can go Gaze for Demod or for Dragoon. Once we use our Dragoon effect, you can link off the IP. And if we did not have the Skull Archfiend in the hand, you could, or sorry, since we have the Skull Archfiend in the hand, you can go Gaze for Dragoon, IP with the Dragoon and the IP Masquerena with the Dragoon, make Selene, revive the Dragoon, and now you have 2 Omnis with the Dragoon. And we still have access to Garifo because we had the Skull Archfiend on the field or in the hand, or you could just IP into Charmers if you wanted to. Like we can get, instead of Selene, if we didn't have the spells, so if we did put both rituals back in the deck because we were afraid, we were a coward. These are at the bottom of the deck. And the Diabell Star was still banished. This was here. This was here. We go Gaze. Shuffle this back. Make the Dragoon. Use the Dragoon effects for whatever. You can discard the Skull Archfiend. And then we link all 4 of these off into Charmers. Now Charmers brings back the Archfiend and the Dragoon, and now we have another use of Dragoon. Or it could even bring back the Murcielago and the Dragoon if we wanted to. So a lot of stuff you can do with this deck. There's a lot of recursive things. Yo, Rayuka, give me on. Yeah, we have 4 cards left in hand, a plus Garifo discard to set the magical hats as well, and discarding the Diabell Star for Dragoon, and discarding the Skull Archfiend for Chaos for Dragoon. Both gives us more follow-up. The Skull Archfiend effect to dump the ritual to add the Blackluster Soldier, and the Diabell Star to special summon itself and set a Sinful Spoils to follow up next turn. You have enough cards to build Chaos deck? Yeah, this deck is completely finished. The only thing I'm missing is 1 extra deck monster for Fallen and the Virtuous, but that one doesn't matter. Or that one I'm getting tomorrow to do my videos on. Does the hat need 3 spells? It has to have 3 spells with different names. Plus, the hat also has to be 3 spells with different names plus a monster that mentions the ritual, Ritual of Light and Darkness. So it has to be So in that situation, we set the hats, have the Magician Black Chaos, so it'd have to be hats plus 3 spells. That's why you don't want to fill your inboard with because of the hat. Yeah, no place for hats. Like, hats is your oh shit button. They got rid of my field. Like, they got rid of everything. They like hats is oh shit. They super polyed my they super polyed away all of my interaction. That's why I don't really search out the Grifo much. You don't really need to, unless you're playing just like very, very, very low to the ground. Which hats does come up, especially when we get Charmied. When we get more Charmied. Any particular spells that do anything when destroyed in the graveyard? In this list, not when they're destroyed. So if you're playing hats, if we're resolving hats, the ones you are always typically going to choose is Light and Darkness Ritual if you haven't already had access to the graveyard. Ragged Records of Rights, and then probably just a blank, to be honest, like Debtors. So if they pop any one of these, all of these are recursive. So Ragged Records of Rights comes back from the grave if all we control, if a ritual monster has left the field, and we don't control any other face-up monsters other than ritual monsters. Debtors, during our opponent's turn, can banish to just revive an Azamina. So if they do deal with our Illa Sylvia, we just go banish Debtor. Our first action in follow-up on turn 3 is banish Debtors, revive the Illa Sylvia. Now we're doing everything under an Omni. And then Light and Darkness Ritual, again, recurs itself with any monster that mentions Light and Darkness Ritual. If you want to run Mystic Box, then you would set Mystic Box as a target, because Mystic Box, when it's popped by the effect, it lets you special summon a ritual monster from hand or deck. So that is the ideal one, but I don't want to go up to 42 cards for another card that doesn't combo, that doesn't give me that doesn't get me to combo. I think it's, again, going back to the saying earlier, you don't rip up your floorboards to improve your ceiling or to expand your ceiling. First and foremost, we want to combo. Do you have it on side or no? I do not even have it on side. The sideboard right now, we'll see. We'll see what the sideboard does. The sideboard's very generic. I don't know really what else to do for the side right now, because I don't have a lot of the good like broken cards for the sideboard right now that just got printed. We have 3 Ash, 2 Lava Golems. This might be a 3rd Lava Golem at this point. 2 Droll for generic stuff. Droll could even be Perulia at this point as well. Like, Droll's I don't think is very good in this format. That's 7. Then we have Go Second, package, Double Lightning Storm Harpies, Solemn package of 2 Solemn Warnings and a Judgment. And then a Sea Monster Theseus for Kultun, and a Sinful Spoils of Betrayal Severa for going first negates. I don't even know if the Sinful Spoils of Betrayal Severa is going to make the cut, because I mean, it's very good. It's a searchable negate. If we keep the Severa, I might take out the Judgment at that point and just run like a 3rd Lava Golem. But yeah, there's like 1 or 2 cards that I will change. Got 3 cards for going second, or like billion cards for going second. Ashes come in for the mill Charmies. Like, these 3 are coming in as like if we get turn skipped. So like the Judgment is probably the most cuttable card here. But these 14, I feel like, and then the Drolls are, I don't know about the Drolls yet. The Severa Trap is actually really fun because the Severa Trap, if we already have access to like Debtors, anything you think would help versus the new Elf Notes? I mean, that's really depends. I mean, Lava Goleming their Omnis off the board when going second. If you Lava Golem their Omni and put Lava Golem in their center main monster zone, like or if they put an Omni in their center main monster zone and you Lava Golem it away and summon Lava Golem in another zone and just clear their center main monster zone, they don't really do anything. I mean, it really depends on what we open and what we end on. It's really hard to say, I'll be honest. Hold on, let me order this again real fast. OCD. Helps me keep track of all these cards. Okay. Fun interactions is if you already have access to your Debtors. Excuse me. If you are, or like going first with Murcielago, or going first post side, you can go summon your Murcielago, add your Debtors, and then you can Fallen in the Virtuous, your own Murcielago if you don't need it as material, to destroy your own Murcielago, to search your Silvera. And then in step you get your second Fallen in the Virtuous set. And now you have Silvera plus a Diabell Star on the field for your negate, or a Diabell Star in hand for your negate. That's another fun interaction I didn't get to go over earlier. So yeah, I'm still working. Also on this one. The fact that you don't even trade the Fallen in the Virtuous for that extra is wild. Yeah. And like I said, if it comes up in the grind game, we get to cycle because of the Summoned Skull. We get to just continuously cycle forever how long the game lasts with the Summoned Skull. Like if we've used, say we used our Fallen in the Virtuous there to pop our own so we use the Fallen in Virtuous there, pop our own Murcielago, in step, set a Fallen in the Virtuous. Use this Fallen in the Virtuous for the Ecclesia during the opponent's turn. So we have Albion and Ecclesia in the grave as well. Now we can go Skull Archfiend to Chaos, shuffle back the 2 Fallen in the Virtuouses, or however many Fallen in the Virtuouses we want, or we can shuffle back 1, add back the other with the Magician of Black Chaos because it adds back any spell. So this is back in the deck. Now we can go Fallen in the Virtuous, send the Dogma, and then Dogma in step is going to add us the other Fallen in the Virtuous. And we can still shuffle these back to the extra deck to get the removal from the Ecclesia. Like I said, there's a lot of really cool, neat interactions that you get to do with these with these cards because of how recursive they all are. Like the grind game for this deck is insanely fun, insanely enjoyable. Trying to think of anything else. I talked about the super poly targets. Talked about Celtic Mystic summoning during your opponent's turn if you want to draw into more non-engine. Like say we're post side and we really want to see a Joel and Lockbird or something. You can search Celtic Mystic with your Mind Shuffle, and Mind Shuffle can summon anything that mentions Ritual of Light and Darkness. Just what it has to bounce is a level 7 or higher. So you can bounce like your Diabell Star, summon your Celtic Mystic, Graceful Charity during your opponent's turn, and try and hit like a Joel and Lockbird, or try and hit a hand trap or interaction. So yeah, a lot of fun stuff, a lot of cool things with this deck. Let me put the side back up. I should have also probably zoomed it out a little bit while I was doing. The original deck looks insanely fun. I can't wait to get it in Master Duel. Yeah, it's gonna be a while. Probably like around Christmas, I assume, for it in Master Duel at this point. Let's do that. Maybe that's a little bit better. There we go. See all the zones. Hope I open enough of the ritual deck to build it properly. Yeah, like in Master Duel or just TCG? The deck itself is pretty cheap outside of literally the Black Chaoses. I don't know. I will be honest. I'm gonna try Chess, White Forest, and Chaos Hazamina. I will be honest. I don't think this deck is going to do good at Nationals. I think people are going to be over prepared for it. And what I mean by that is people are going to adjust their sideboards and their game plans to beat this deck, or beat the branded version of this deck, because this is the deck with the most hype around it. So I do think the deck that will win Nationals will probably be branded, like either pure branded or branded Dracotail. But I do think this is going to be a like continuously good deck, even if it doesn't win Nationals. It's not a bad deck. Like people are going after Nationals, people are going to stop worrying about it as much and side for like the best decks, or adjust their sideboards back to branded. And then this deck will like slowly get fun. This deck will slowly get like wins here and there. Tired, chat. EP. Sleepy. Damn, we're gonna go in 3 hours. I will be playing White Forest for Genesis, though. We will be playing White Forest for Genesis. I know this is not a White Forest deck, and I know I haven't played White Forest. We will be playing White Forest for Genesis because I have really been enjoying normal summon a Stellar and not having it Ash Blossomed or Impermed or whatever. Normal summon a Stellar has been great. Normal summon Stellaring, send a toy, get full combo has been super cool. But I'm the wrong one. If we, I know I didn't really go over it, but if we get like little Charming with this deck, like if we get Fuwood, then we just go into ritual stuff and we don't really worry about the Asmina, or we set up Deception with Debtors, and we don't give them any draws. How much is the toy package for making a White Force Genesis deck? 0, and it's 0 points. So they're also like they're also penny cards. Yeah. Where is my? Hold on a second. Oh, yeah, right. I'll probably buy another deck box. I definitely need to buy another deck box while I'm at Nationals, because I'm carrying around my Genesis deck in a Dragon Shield cardboard box like I'm 12 all over again. But as far as Genesis with the new points update, and Teller Knights being a thing, I'm terrified of getting FTK'd in Genesis. I'll be perfectly honest. That's the only downside of Genesis right now, is this the past 2 sets released a lot of FTK decks that have not been pointed enough, in my opinion, to stop them from FTKing us. So I had to adjust the deck. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. These are going to be 2 Master Strikes. 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15. I'm waiting on, before I do Genesis stuff, I'm waiting on these Gamma Seals are all going to be Dogrins, because Dogrin is unpointed and Gamma Seal is pointed now. So these are technically 0 points. I'll pull all the points out. 1 point apiece for DD Crows, because you need some sort of interaction against Teller Knights. These could also be Skullmeisters too, if you wanted to move points around. 8 points for Effect Veiler. 5 points for Sylvie. 22 points for Elzette. 3 points for 3 Dark Holes. What is it, like 20 points for Diabelle, I believe. The list altogether equals 99 points. And then the different change, like this is all been prior stuff. Instead of Dark Holes, you could run Pear Bear Scare. Like that's probably going to be a popular card, but I also just don't want my removal. I don't want there to be a chance of my removal not removing stuff. So I'm just still running the Dark Holes. And if a deck is running Pear Bear Scare does nothing against White Forest. So it's whatever. Because Pear Bear Scare is purely monster destruction. And we can play through that pretty easily. And then the last points are 3 imperms. I'm playing 33 points into playing infinite impermanence. These could also be Old Charmy Fuwalos. Like a lot of people are saying you should be playing Fuwalos in this format, but I think if a deck is going to FTK you, they're just going to play through Fuwalos. And hope that you don't draw into anything, or like hope you like are just drawing into engine. So I'd rather so I'm spending 33 points on imperm because now we have 4 different main deck ways, 4 different main deck hand traps to stop the opponent. Because of this, though, we had to cut down to Sylvie to 1 and are running 3 Stellars as our starter, which it's not the best, but oops, sorry. It's not the best, but it's what we have to do. And we also have 3 Piri Raise maps. Like, this deck will never break. That is the good news. The good news is this deck will never break because we have 6 1-card starters here. Well, this is technically 1.5 because you have to have a spell, but yeah, 6 1-card starters. What else? Boom, 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 boom. I don't know. Genesis is going to be more of a fun thing. Like, it is not going to be anything that I'm taking like super seriously compared to Advanced. Of course, I'd like to do well. I'd like to do well with White Forest. I like winning with White Forest, but especially since they added the FTK decks right before Nationals, I don't know how. I don't know, man. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I won't be, if I lose the die roll into my first 3 rounds into being FTK decks, then it is what it is at that point. God did not smile upon me that day. For the extra deck, this extra deck for this deck is super fun. Extra deck for this deck is sick. We get to play Zapper Shrimp again. I love Zapper Shrimp. Shoutouts to Zapper Shrimp from Info. This was the GOAT back in the day, so this is spell and trap removal. Also is a formula synchron into level 10s. You can also, if they stop your level 10s, because it sends a spell or trap for effect, triggers your Stellar in the grave. So this plus the Stellar that summons makes the Poplar if you wanted to. And then Poplar is a formula synchron. So we have these 2. Immortal Dragon is a level 6 for a level 6 Dark Tuner for your Arms of Gen X return 0 to play around Nibiru. Also, Arms of Gen X return 0 gives us an Omni for Teller Knights and for Shadals, because they're going to be Darks. We'll get back to that in a second. We have our White Force lineup: Roselia, Silvera, and Diabel. We get to play Visas Amitara as a level 8 that goes into level 12s and to level 10s. Also searches your Monodium Reframing, but we side Monodium Reframing out going second. But yeah, Arms of Gen X return 0 for a 10, or here, Arms of Gen X 0 for a 10, like I said, for anti-Nibiru and for light and dark decks, basically. Satellite Warrior is level 10 that we make on our opponent's turn. This card's crazy. You go Diabel, summon Zapper Shrimp. Zapper Shrimp quick sync the Diabel into Satellite Warrior, and you'll have typically anywhere between 3 to 4 synchros in the grave. So this pops 3 to 4 cards. This pops cards up to the number of synchros in your grave. Another level 10 option we have to go with Zapper Shrimp is Fabled Levy Lazabelle. I've talked about this card 1,000 times with the Elf Notes deck. This card is just really good in general. You can also do the Visas Amitara plus any of your level 2 White Forest names, like a Stellar, reviving a Stellar, to make Fable Lazybill as part of your inboard to steal your opponent's normal summon. And a lot of times in Genesis, stealing your opponent's normal summon typically does the job, typically does the trick. And then our one level 12 target is Snake Eyes Vengeance Dragon. Then we get to play Doom Dragon because he's 0 points for some reason. I don't know why he's still 0 points for board breaking. Moa Regina lets us board break. And we can also just end on Sinful Spoils of the White Forest set to make Moa Regina during our opponent's turn. And then our last two in the extra deck is a Tornado Dragon and Exciton Knight. Exciton Knight for going first, and Tornado Dragon for when we get shifted. Like usually just making these two cards if we get shifted in any way. And so we have something to do. Side deck is still, like I said, in the works. I really kind of want to put, I don't know. I want to take one thing out and put in Diabelle's original Sin Keeper, because you can do the anti-spell fragrance line with Moa Regina, where you send Diabelle's the original Sin Keeper with the Diabelle's White Witch, and then revive it with Moa Regina. And now you have an anti-spell fragrance, which is very strong. So we'll see what the side, we'll see how we update the sideboard. See how we fix the sideboard. Bah. But no, I really like playing Genesis. I think Genesis is a lot of fun. If you haven't given Genesis a shot, highly recommend playing Genesis. It is a good like breath of fresh air from playing advanced formats, where like you actually get to resolve your cards. Like both, there's a back and forth, and it really comes down to the strength of both engines and your ability to board break and stop follow-ups from your opponent. Which, I mean, if we go full combo with White Forest without getting like Nibiru, or getting which Nibiru just got points, or getting Shifter, really just only Shifter and Fua at this point are like the two limiting factors of this deck. The boards we get to make are pretty much unbreakable, trying to fight through, but big stretch, big stretch, big stretch. If we get Fluid, then we just make Resilia, give them one draw, set of woes, and have the two Diabelle monsters there, and we do everything on their turn anyways at that point. So we're pretty decent into Fua. Actually, we would give them two draws if we wanted the Resilia. So like we would go normal summon a stellar effect to summon Sylvie. They would Fua there. They would get one draw off the Sylvie. Sylvie would add woes, and then we would get the Diabelle monsters from there, and then or put the two Diabelle monsters on the field, and then one or two draws with Fua, which is fine for full board basically. All right, chat. Let me switch over. Let me switch back. Yeah. I'm looking forward to Nationals. It's gonna be a lot of fun. We got one more week. Tomorrow I'm gonna be going to playtest. I've got one full week of playtesting left, and then I have one day next week because I fly out Thursday to playtest. So I have tomorrow and Saturday this week. Tomorrow and Saturday this week, and then Tuesday next week. So no stream tomorrow because I'm gonna go play test. Yeah, I will tell you how the play tests go. Hold on. I'm sorry, I'm adjusting everything back. There we go. Look a little weird for a second. 1 second. Bum. There we go. Much better. Much better. Yeah, I'll keep updated how the playtests go. I will also post on YouTube. I don't know if I'll make a video, but I'll post on the YouTube page. If you are going to nationals, if you want to meet up, if you want me to sign your stellars or anything like that, I will be going to nationals. Only thing I ask is respect at least the privacy of being a VTuber. But yeah, if I end up on camera, there will be signs. There will be signs. It is me. Oh shit, I forgot that was still showing. Hold on 1 second before Twitter posts random shit. But yeah, so if I do end up on feature match or anything on either of the days, then there will be signs. There will be signs that it is me. But yeah, I will be at nationals. I will be recording also a vlog of my trip to nationals to post on YouTube. So I gotta figure that all out. Figure out what I can and can't record. I've never done a vlog before, but that one should be a lot of fun. And hey, if I get knocked out early, then I just get blackout drunk and play side events all weekend, which I love doing. So I'm looking forward to it regardless. I want to work on my Runic deck, but I don't know what can support it. Runic's great. You can play Runic White Forest. Runic White Forest is amazing. I used to love that deck. The only reason I stopped playing Runic is because of Malice. But like Malice now is rare. I mean, people still play Malice, but like you're less likely to run into a Malice matchup. And if you do, you just kind of take the L in that point. Let me see if I still have my Runic White Forest build. You know, Runic White Forest is great. You draw 1 billion cards, like you draw half your deck. It also loses to Droll. That is the other reason why, is everyone started main decking Droll, but now that Droll's at 2, it might still be playable. I do not have Runic White Forest still built. Okay, Sag. We have White Forest Toy. Let me delete this. When is this? Okay, this was just random. Delete. This was Yummy Snake Eye. Delete that. This is pure White Forest. Okay, must have deleted it. I wonder if I have it on Twitter, maybe. I do have Runic White Forest on Twitter. Oh nope, never mind. This was I think this is before I started posting. Yeah, look, this is all toy stuff. I think this is before I started posting White Forest stuff. But yeah, there are builds of Runic White Forest out there that you just play basically the max out on your level 4s. You use Huggin as a level 2, as your level 2s for material. And oh yeah, here we go. Here's a pseudo build of it. You could probably update this one quite a bit. Oh, that's the wrong one. Pop. Where is it? Pop. There we go. basically you max out on your level 4s because you're using Huggin as your level 2. But you, instead of LZ, you can honestly play, you can also throw as a LZ in here if you want to put like a small Azamina package over the skill drain and stuff. But yeah, you draw a billion cards with Runic. You make your level 6s. And oh, this one's also old because this one's not even running Desires. They used to run Pot of Desires in it as well. But yeah, there's some stuff you can cook. You can cook with White Forest Runic. All right. That being said, I'm tired. I need to get some sleep. Get my sleep schedule back for overnights. Start at work tomorrow or tonight. No stream tomorrow. Tomorrow will be playtesting day. I will let you know how it goes. We'll let you know how the matchups go. Might record Wednesday. I might either record Wednesday or Thursday. We'll see. So regardless of which one I do record on, so if I record on Wednesday, then I will be no stream Wednesday. But if I record on Thursday, then I'll stream Wednesday, and yeah, vice versa. What else? Yeah, I think that's it. No more box openings until post nationals. I'm gonna be broke until post nationals. But outside of that, yeah, it's just gonna be a lot of playtesting this week, and then streams when I can this week. Talking about it. I'll fly out Thursday, so I'll probably just stream next Monday. No stream Tuesday because Tuesday will be playtesting. Probably no stream Wednesday because I will be trying to get my get everything packed, and then I think I fly out early. Yeah, I fly out early Thursday, so very few streams is what I'm trying to say. But all right, happy to be back. Happy to be back doing card content again, playing Yu-Gi-Oh again. We'll play some Master Duel or something this week as well. Master Duel ranked ladder should be resetting here pretty soon too. Hopefully the ban list comes in very soon because I am sick of Kultun in Master Duel. I didn't play the nationals, or not the nationals, the world qualifiers or anything. I did not care. To be honest, I did not care to play it in this format. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. That being said, guys, gals, and bees, YouTube catters, hope you enjoyed the stream. We will be back either Wednesday or Thursday, depending on when I'm able to record. But if you have any other questions or anything that you want me to cover in the recording, either ask on Discord, !Discord in the chat, or comment on this VOD that'll be uploaded to YouTube. And I will make sure to cover them when I do recording this week as well. So hope you enjoyed the stream. Like the stream, subscribe on YouTube. It's free to do so. Support your favorite cowboy today. And yeah, I think that's it. I think that's all. Let's enjoy nationals together. So guys, gals, and bees, YouTube catters, hope you have a fantastic rest of your Monday afternoon, Monday evening, Monday night, Tuesday Meowning, and I will see y'all Wednesday or Thursday for stream. So as always, catters, good night.